Facts First presents. They never told us about this in The Blind Side. When The Blind Side was released in theaters in 2009, it immediately became a huge hit. Not only did the audience love the movie, but critics did as well. It even received a nomination for an Academy Award for Best Film. Sandra Bullock won an Oscar for her performance, which is one of the highest forms of praise an actor can get. While most people loved the movie, there were some who didn't. The movie is Michael Oher's story, and he feels like the film didn't tell the actual events the way they really happened. Here are a few things that Michael says the film got wrong. The Blind Side delved into how Michael Oher ended up with the Tuohy family. According to Michael, the Hollywood version of his life was watered down to make it easier to watch. Michael's life was really tough. His mother was an addict and wasn't present in his life during his childhood. His father was in jail and died there. He has 11 brothers and sisters, and none of them had it easy growing up. That's why when Michael met the Tuohys, it essentially saved his life. In The Blind Side, the first time the family meets Michael is in the pouring rain, and he's freezing. They pull over to ask him where he's going, and he says that he's going to the gym to stay warm, and the family takes him to their home for that night. According to Michael, staying with the Tuohys didn't happen suddenly like that. It was a gradual thing. Leanne met Michael at the school where her children went. She first wanted to help him by buying him some new clothes. It took a while for them to develop a close relationship, which was not seen in the movie. However, they did end up adopting him. Actor Quinton Aaron played Michael in the film, and he played him as being quiet and reserved. He was timid and passive in the movie, always doing the things that others wanted. In real life, Michael is known for his big personality, his roaring laughter, and his quick sense of humor. He also says that he was not pushed toward football by the family. He actually wanted to play on his own. Michael says Quinton did a great job as an actor, he just didn't have a true story to tell. Quinton played the role as he was told, but it was not Michael's real personality at all. Leanne Tuohy works as a successful interior designer. One of her clients was Patrick Ramsey, who was the Washington Redskins quarterback. Now that's not mentioned outright in the movie, but Leanne, played by Sandra Bullock, does mention Patrick in the film in an offhand reference. She does, however, mention being a designer for celebrities when she's talking on the phone about a chair. In the movie, Michael had trouble with racial issues. In the film, he wrote an essay about being the only black person in a sea of white. Well, there's a part where Leanne's uncle calls the house after seeing the family Christmas card, asking if there was a colored kid in the photo. He was also singled out during a game for his race. In real life, Michael also faced racial challenges. He was the only black student, which meant he had to deal with bigotry from his other classmates. The Tuohys tried to make him feel like part of the family, but racial issues were always in the back of his mind. In the movie, the connection between Michael and the Tuohys happened immediately. In real life, though, it did not happen that fast, and there was a good deal of tension. What the film did get right was that eventually a strong bond was forged between the Tuohys and Michael. In time, they looked at each other as family, and they still do today. In the film, it was Leanne who instilled a love of football into Michael and even helped him to learn the game. In real life, Leanne did take part in Michael's training, but he was not as clueless as he was portrayed in the film. In real life, Michael had athletic skills already. He knew how to play football. He'd played football at his previous schools. He believes that the film robbed him of the hard work and determination he put in as an athlete before meeting the Tuohys. When Sandra Bullock was first approached about playing Leanne, she almost turned it down. She didn't think that she'd be able to portray a Catholic woman realistically. After sitting down and speaking to the real Leanne, though, she agreed to take the role. She was so serious about the role she was willing to take less money than usual to portray the character. She's really glad she did because she won an Academy Award for Best Actress in a Leading Role. Sandra Bullock wasn't the only actress to turn down the role at first, though. Julia Roberts was offered the role of Leanne as well, but she turned it down. She said that she didn't feel like the role was right for her, which is a shame because it was an award-winning role for Sandra Bullock. Quinton Aaron is the actor who played Michael Oher, and he was an excellent choice. The two men do have a similar build. They're both very tall. The significant difference between the two actors, though, is their age. Michael was born in 1986, Quinton was born in 1984, making them 2 years apart. Sandra Bullock did not meet the family just once. She actually became good friends with Michael Oher and the Tuohy family. In fact, to this day she still visits them quite often and has gone to some football games. She's been spotted many times sitting in the stands with the Tuohy family watching the real Michael Oher play. Before landing the role of Michael Oher on The Blind Side, Quentin was working as a security guard. After his audition, he gave his card to the director, John Lee Hancock. He told him to call and she might need security on the set. Quentin was shocked when he got the call telling him that he got the part. Since then, he has not worked any security jobs. His primary focus today is on acting, and he's landed roles in film and TV shows, including Law & Order SVU. Michael Oher hasn't made it a secret that he disapproves of the way that he was portrayed in the film. He didn't like the way that he was portrayed as an athlete, and he doesn't like the way that people think of him since the film's release. He says since the movie came out, people don't look at him as a serious athlete. They look at him as the NFL player who had a movie about him. Suddenly, his incredible talent as an athlete no longer matters, and he believes that it's taken from his worth as a professional athlete. In the film, Michael was admitted to the school after the football coach and Sean Tuohy fought for him to attend. While these two men were instrumental in him getting into the school, he had to do more. Michael had to take several academic tests before being admitted to the school. The parts in the movie where Michael didn't have basic skills were actually not accurate. Some teachers did help him more than others, but he got into the school on his own merit. Michael wasn't happy with the way that he was portrayed in the film, so he decided to write an autobiography to set the record straight, and his book is called I Beat the Odds – From Homelessness to the Blind Side and Beyond. In his book, he goes into detail about his childhood and he corrects many of the changes and embellishments that the filmmakers used to make the movie a hit. It's his way of letting people know who the real Michael Oher is. Collins Tuohy is the oldest child in the Tuohy family and their only daughter. She and Michael forged a solid bond in the film, and they did in real life. In the movie, she was a cheerleader and a volleyball player. In real life, her athletic achievements are even more significant. She received a cheerleading scholarship to the University of Mississippi, and she won the title of state champion in pole vaulting while she was still in high school. Like her entire family, Collins was incredibly athletic. Michael and Sean's first meeting on The Blind Side is different than it was in real life. In the movie, Sean met Michael after Collins' volleyball game while he was picking up food that was left behind by people who were watching the game. In reality, Sean met Michael at school, but only after the family had already started helping him. Sean went to the school to make sure that Michael had lunch money so that he could be sure the student was able to eat during the day. Quentin may have had a physical similarity to the real Michael Oher, but he didn't know anything about football. To prepare for the role, Quentin joined the football team at Georgia Tech for 3 months. He went through rigorous workouts with the team, and the experience helped him understand the game and the football field better. This experience helped him to play a believable football player. Most people would never know he had never played ball before his time with Georgia Tech. The school officials at Briarcrest Christian School weren't too enthusiastic about their school being mentioned in the film. They were worried about how the staff would be portrayed and that it would reflect poorly on them. Without permission from the school to use their name, the writers had to change the name of the school in the film. The name was changed to Windgate Christian School, but the school's color, green, was still portrayed in the film. Before landing the role of Michael Oher, Quentin Aaron had never been on an airplane. His first time was when he was asked to go in for a second audition in Los Angeles. Since then, he has flown many times and has fit right into the glamorous life of Hollywood. While Leanne pushed Michael to play football, Quentin's mother urged him to play the role of Michael Oher. After reading the open call for The Blind Side, Quentin's mother realized that her son had the right look and build to play the football star. She submitted his name for the audition, and the rest is history. Quentin had to do a lot to play Michael successfully. Not only did he take acting lessons and train with the football players at Georgia Tech, he also had to lose 100 pounds for the role. He managed to do that in just 3 months. He says that it was well worth it to land the role of a lifetime. Country music legend Tim McGraw played Sean Tuohy. Tim wasn't the only actor in the cast with musical talent, though. Lily Collins, who played Collins, she's the daughter of rock legend Phil Collins. In the film, S.J. was an adorable boy who took Michael under his wing right away. The relationship between the two was accurately portrayed in the movie. Since S.J. was so young when the film was made, the audience never learns that, like Michael, he played football too. They never told us about this in The Blind Side. After graduating from high school, S.J. was accepted to Loyola University in Baltimore. Today, he works as a football coach at Southern Methodist University. Subscribe for more.